Hey everybody, I bought this yesterday. I actually bought two of them, but this is the Atlanta Constitution newspaper from September 12th, 2001. This was the day after 9/11. So I'm not going to make this episode all about 9/11. I actually wanted to go through it and look at some of the prices and some other stuff, maybe things that happened on that day or that week or that year that you might not be familiar with or you didn't know had any kind of connections, or maybe sometimes there's like a timeline of history that you don't know. Actually, like things that happen at the same time. So I know I'm just blabbering, but like one thing I went down a rabbit hole a while back when I learned that there was a lot of European kings and stuff that were dealing with Benjamin Franklin. You wouldn't think about it, but that would blow your mind if you really go down that rabbit hole. All right, let's get into it. So here's the first thing that caught my eye. This is on page 4, and this shows the damage to the Lehman Brothers building on 3 World Financial Center. And reading here, one person died in this building, but after the damage from this building, Lehman Brothers moved to a skyscraper, like I'm not sure. I don't think a 20. No, anyways, they moved to a 20-story office, and they also started popping up a lot of different offices, something like 40 different offices after this damage happened from 9/11. So I'm not saying it led to the demise of Lehman Brothers. That was their own fault. But this probably had some kind of connection to some of their struggle because they lost a lot of money and they blew a lot of money after this event. So that's kind of cool. Here's a cool little article I found. This is discussing Afghanistan and informing people that probably didn't even know where Afghanistan was. And still to today, there's probably a lot of people that don't even know where Afghanistan is. But this article goes over a lot of details. And one part that caught my eye was where it talks about the Taliban, a fundamentalist Islamic movement that considers much of Western culture to be evil. The United States spent billions of dollars in Afghanistan, a country smaller than Texas, to oppose the Cold War enemy, the Soviet Union, and welcomed the Taliban into the movement in the early days. So I'll take a picture of this and I'll post it here, and I'll just put it over the screen in case you want to read this article a little bit more. But I found this pretty cool because if 9/11 didn't happen, I don't think this article would have been printed, and a lot of people wouldn't know of this kind of stuff going on because this kind of stuff gets buried. And the only people that really learn about it is the people that dig deep or that knew about it when it happened. This is stuff that doesn't get published in the news too much. Here's the cool article I found on technology. Here it says email proves indispensable as phone systems jam. And a couple of highlights. I'm okay wrote a New Yorker, Robert Silverman, founder of Gramercy, blah, blah, blah. Um, phones are down, but the email, okay. Phones are down and this email connection is sporadic. Okay, so it shows that people were sending emails when the phone system was down. And then right here is another part of information that would be buried if this didn't happen. You can see here, Macquarie pointed out as the internet began as an army project called ARPANET in 1969 that allows computers to communicate in the event of a national disaster. So I think that's pretty cool. There was a typhoon in Tokyo that killed 5. Here's an article I found that was pretty cool. Even on September 12th, 2001, they were arguing that the penny was worthless. Now, what I don't agree with, I think this would cause a lot of price increase and inflation. So this guy, uh, Jim Kolb, has introduced a legal tender modernization act, which, among other, calls for rounding up to the nearest 5 cents on all cash transactions, except for those 2 cents or less. So if something cost like say 53 cents, they'll round it up to 55. Okay, that's 2 cents. That's gone. You're paying that. So, but just think of that on a massive scale. But this is an article I found that was pretty cool. Here's some facts about pennies. I'll take a picture and put this on the screen, and you can pause it if you want to read a little bit more. How about this ad? 4 rolls of paper towels for $1, 2 for $5, 12 single roll or 6 double roll Angel Soft toilet paper. And here's some more paper towels and napkins and tissues. And that's just 24 years ago. That's probably about tripled. Here's what was on TV at the time. I'll just kind of roll and let you read it. I love King of the Hill and The Simpsons. I remember those days. Candid cameras, my grandmother loved that. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Nova, that's when PBS was good. The Craft. Crocodile Hunter, I remember him. Pecker. I think I watched Pecker one time. I do like Edward Furlong. MASH. I remember that coming on at midnight and me just being too bored to change the channel, but it was okay. Better Off Dead, that was a good movie. And Scream 3, I actually just bought that VHS sealed. Has nothing to do with this. Here's an overview of the comic section. I didn't see anything weird or strange, but I'll leave it on the screen for a little bit if you wanted to take a look. Here's the movie theater section. These were insane. I remember going to matinees. I remember going to 2 or 3 movies a day, to see 2 or 3 movies a day. I'm just going to kind of leave this on the screen and let you pause it and zoom in if you want. There's just so many. One I did find kind of odd: Soul Survivors. Here's a classified section, and these show a lot of house prices. So I'm not going to go over all of them, of course, that would take too long. But I'll go over a couple, just to kind of give you a glimpse of the housing market then. Here's an ad for a car dealership. Now you'll see most of the prices have kind of doubled, but there are some that have more than doubled. We can look at a Sentra, see what a kind of today equivalent is, but a '01, $10,000. You can see a King Cab Nissan truck, $12,000. Check out the cell phones. Here's an office space on Jimmy Carter Boulevard, and I know exactly where that is. That looks to me like it's 2,300 square feet for 1,500 a month. That's insane. That's extremely cheap. Here's a duplex for sale for 137.9. There's 2 units in a duplex. I'm guessing we charge 800 a month, which is about what rent was back then for a 2 bedroom. 1,600 times 12. Let's see. So if you do 1,600 times 12, that's 19,000. If you do 137 divided by 19,000, roughly about 7 years. I did that math wrong, but roughly about 7 years you can get your investment back. So there is just so many houses for sale and apartments for rent. I'm just going to kind of go over this a little bit to give you an idea of rent. So you can see here, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 650 to 7, 2 bedrooms, 650. You see that 800 a month I was telling you is not off. So you can see just the kind of rent prices back then. In 2004, I rented a 2 bedroom apartment. I started off 650, but it went up to about 720 after a couple years. Now rent has about tripled. I wouldn't say tripled, but rent has probably 2.5x in 24 years. For the people interested in mobile home prices, 615 a month, 2 bedroom. Let's look at the price for dogs and purebreds. Bulldog, 250. Chihuahua, 2 to 275. Pitbull 2 to 300. Poodle 250 to 450. Shih Tzu 300. Yorkie 400 to 1,000. 1,500. Horses 1,500 to 4,000. Arcade games 750 to 1,200. Clawfoot tub $750. Here's some collectibles. I looked at the antiques, but they're just extremely overpriced, and I wouldn't trust those prices anyways. All right, animal heads. A Nazi program, 1936 Olympics. Barbie dolls, baseball cards, Beanie Babies. $750 for 150 plus Beanie Babies. Wait did you get down to the C's. Berlin Wall collectibles. That's kind of cool. Cabbage Patch dolls. $5,000. Signed. I sold a signed one for 500. That's just one though. Coca-Cola coins. This one got me 800. Well, it says American Silver Eagle over 800 coins. So yeah, 800 Silver Eagles at $15,000. That's like $18 each. I would, I would pawn something to get all those right now. Roman coins, Coke machine. Earnhardt's big, and he's still big. I went to a guy's house a couple months ago, and his entire house was nothing but Dale Earnhardt. I tried to buy some stuff off of him, and he wouldn't sell anything. Harley Davidson beer? Probably the mugs. Hess. JFK assassination material. John Lennon lithograph. Song of the South. I wonder what material that's on. Suit of armor. Trains. I heard that trains used to be big. Some train sets can go for like $30,000. This will probably be one of the most hilarious. Hey, Windows 98 laptop, $495. Oh, what's that? Windows 2000, 128 gigs of RAM, 6 gig hard drive, 1,500. Not bad. All of these you can get now for about 10, 20 bucks. Farm tractor, $3,000, $4,000, $1,000. Trailer, 1,500. Houseboat, 86,000. Here's a yacht, 329,000. When it comes to the used cars, just trust me when I say that the used car market was a lot stronger back then. All of these used cars are way higher than you would pay today. I mean, there's used cars for like 6 to 10, 12,000. I'll just show a few off. Now, I don't drink wine, I don't drink alcohol at all, but I can tell just from eyeballing it that these prices have at least doubled. Employment. Accountant, 27,000 to 32,000. Mechanic, $15 an hour. Here's another car ad. '01 Echo, 11,000. You can get a Ford F-150, 10,000. Daewoo, shit car, but 7,500. I don't know if that's a Ram, but it's a Dodge 1500, 20,000. Mercedes C280, 22,000. Mattress prices. I remember about 15 years ago, you can get a mattress for 150 bucks. Now you're looking at 600 to 1,000. Here's an Eckerd's ad. They don't exist anymore. They were bought up by Rite Aid. Rite Aid collapsed. Four for $3 for soda. These, I can tell you right now, go for retail about $10 each. What, $2.60, $2.30 each, something like that. Someone watching this video might know those prices. I don't, but I think they're probably about 15 bucks. Tithe. These are about $8 to $10 now. More toilet paper. People's always needed toilet paper. More car ads. But you see that cars were expensive back then. So that's why a lot of people around 2000s, early 2000s, really flaunted their cars. It was like they're just net worth to some people, because some people would live in an apartment complex and buy a nice car. And this right here, I'll show you. This car is $22,000, and 5 years ago I bought that same car for $1,200. I'm in my office looking out, but there it is right there. Good reliable car though. And the two Dakotas that I was mentioning are right there. The ones with the wheels in the truck, that was passed down by in-laws, which we're protecting, will never sell, so it has no monetary value to us. That one my older son just bought for $700 to match it. Well, my entire driveway might be filled with this catalog, because I own this too. I bought one for about $2,000 about 3 years ago. And there it is right there, with the blown engine. And here's the last ad. This is the end of the newspaper. I hope you liked it. There is a 02 Dakota. The two out there are 89 and 90. But I'll end with one more thing, because I think if you've made it this far and you're native to Atlanta, or if you know a little bit about politics, my uncle, my grand uncle, was Lester Maddox. So I never got to meet him, but I just found that at a store, already laminated and everything. So Lester Maddox is my uncle, and you can see right there, that's Atlanta Journal-Constitution as well. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Also remember to like and subscribe. Thanks.